Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film Epic. Is the latest animated film from Blue Sky. It's directed by Chris Wedge, who directed the original Ice Age film and the film Robots, and hasn't done a film since about 2005, and this is his big return. It's based on the book The Leaf Men and the Brave Good Bugs by William Joyce. So I don't really know who that is. A teenage girl who is visiting her estranged father, who's been looking for a secret small society hidden in the woods of small people who have a lot to do with how the world works. Somehow, they don't really explain that. This queen, voiced by Beyonce, is trying to find a new bud who she will transfer her powers on because that night is the night of the full moon and the summer solstice and all this stuff. And this girl, MK, or Mary Catherine, she's walking around looking for her dog and looking for her dad, and then magic transforms her into a small person and she can communicate with this small society, and it's kind of like an Avatar, Star Wars, Fern Gully type thing. She has to help them save the forest from being destroyed by the evil people who have stolen this bud that the queen is gonna, princess or whatever, is gonna transfer her powers to, because that will be the new ruler of the forest. I'm not really a fan of Blue Sky, but I will commend them for doing kind of a different kind of movie. This is really different from most of the stuff they've done previous to this. Ice Age and Rio and Horton Hears a Who and Robots have all been more comedic, and this is, although it does definitely has comedy or attempts at comedy, isn't really as comedic as trying to be a more serious kind of fantasy. I guess this is their Black Cauldron. It's a different kind of film for them, at least, and I think that's at least kind of interesting, even though this movie isn't. They wanted to kind of branch out and do something a little different. Epic's problem really is a structure problem, and it's something that they almost got really right and have kind of the story to do one of the best plot convenient structures in Hollywood, which is kind of the Star Wars structure, and Avatar uses as well, and Fern Gully also. When you have a new character in a new world, you can have people explain that world to them, and so you don't really have to do that. You can get away with a lot of stuff that in a normal movie you couldn't get away with. It wouldn't really work. It would just seem very contrived. But when you have a new character like the Mary Catherine character, voiced by Amanda Seyfried, you have basically an excuse to have this world shown to you through someone's eyes. And they don't really take advantage of that. And they also focus too much on the Leaf Men's world before she gets transformed. So it's kind of like in Star Wars, you don't meet Luke Skywalker for a while, but the way it's structured and everything, you understand who to follow. Same with Avatar does it very well, and it's very clear. You know, it's not the greatest movie, but it's structured it very well and very precisely, so you get, oh, this is who I'm supposed to follow, it's Jake Sully, and I'm not going to meet the Na'vi until I really understand him. And I don't feel like we spent enough time with Mary Catherine. The tree world, we're spending like equal time, but not doing it in a way that we understand where the story's going with it. It's kind of like hard as an audience member for me to know who my audience conduit is, because you have one in the Mary Catherine character, and you think like, oh, we're going to use this Mary Catherine character for the audience, and the audience can learn things through her, but they don't really do that. And so I'm always like, who am I following? Am I kind of more on the Leaf Men side? Am I on her side? It was a failure at that structure, because like normally in that structure it works really well and you can have a movie for big audiences and everyone can follow it, and I felt like they totally screwed that up. I kept thinking like, would it have been better if we didn't know anything about the world going on there and Mary Catherine suddenly shrunk or just kind of thrown into it? Would that have been better? Or would it have been better to maybe cut down on so much of that stuff and setting everybody up in such a way, the way they did it? I'm not sure, but I feel like the way they do kind of use the Little Mermaid structure and like kind of trying to introduce both people at once. But notice that film favors Ariel. You know, like all these films who use this structure where you have somebody introduced to a new world, you favor somebody. You can't have two stories going on at the same time. The villain Mandrake, who's voiced by Christoph Waltz, he has a great villain setup, just a perfect villain setup where his son is killed early in the film, and even though his plan was to, you know, take over the forest anyway, wouldn't that have given him more of a drive, made him more evil? But it feels like he's more interested in cracking kind of one-liners. There's not really a character there, and there could have been a character there. This film like has so many chances where it could be so relatable to so many people, and it just ruins it, and it's so depressing. It had it in its grasp. The voices of the leads, who are Amanda Seyfried plays Mary Catherine, Josh Hutcherson plays Nod, and Colin Farrell plays Ronan, are horrible choices for voice acting. This is why picking celebrities to do animation voices doesn't always work, because people who work with live action don't always work with animation. People who work really well with animation voices don't work with live action. Some people work with both. This film's not only badly structured, but you have actors who aren't really good at being leads. I mean, Colin Farrell isn't good at being a lead in a normal live action film. And this is actually better than I've seen him in Total Recall and Dead Man Down, but I still really didn't like him. Amanda Seyfried, I mean, you could have just gotten any female voice actress for this. I didn't really understand why she was in it. And same with Josh Hutcherson. They just felt really bland and generic. I don't understand putting celebrities in an animated film unless they have a distinctive voice or they have something to really add to it. But like, no one's gonna see this movie for Amanda Seyfried's voice. No one's gonna see this for Josh Hutcherson's voice. They just don't have really expressive, good voice acting voices. I think a lot of the supporting actors like Christoph Waltz, Aziz Ansari, Chris O'Dowd, even Pitbull was better. Pitbull's in this, he was better than all the leads. Or Steven Tyler. I don't love a lot of those actors, but they had more personality. That's really what Epic needed, was like personality in these voices. Having bad voice actors in a film that's already badly written just makes it even worse. The character designs were bad and they didn't fit the voice actors. Trying too hard to get away from a cartoony style. And all, like Steven Tyler's character and Pitbull's character and Aziz and Chris O'Dowd, who are playing like the so-called comic relief, they had cartoon character designs, and that I liked. I liked that character design. It moved, it flowed, and the character designs of all the leads were bland and kind of like Barbie dollish. I guess normally you're supposed to like things when someone's being more versatile, but this almost like shows me that Blue Sky really shouldn't be versatile, that they should really be doing the thing that they're used to, because I'd much rather see Scratch in an Ice Age movie, and I don't love the Ice Age movies, than see another Epic movie. I think it's a little more depressing because I can see how they could have almost done it, how they could have made this a more interesting, cool movie. There's not much there for me to recommend this film or like this film or even want to watch it again. It's pretty forgettable and boring, and I really hope Blue Sky sticks to what they're good at. So if you've seen Epic and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.